Joe, what was different about CC tonight?
He had more velocity tonight. I thought his location was better. I thought his breaking ball was better, and he pitched a really good game. You know, to give us 6 innings, outstanding game, and then our bullpen took over.
You mentioned the velocity. What causes a pitcher to have a little bit more velocity?
I have no idea. Dehydration, I guess.
Does that help him? Does that help the rest of his stuff, even if it is just a mile an hour or 2 more?
Oh, definitely. Whenever you have more arm speed, I think it helps the rest of your stuff as well. So it was just an outstanding performance. We needed it. We didn't score many runs tonight. The young kid was tough on us again and has a very good arm as well, and we got just enough.
He seemed fired up several times tonight, showed a lot of emotion on the mound. What do you think that performance meant to him?
Well, I think it means a lot. I mean, as I've said all along, that this is the guy that's, you know, the one that's been through this a lot this time of year and understands the magnitude of the games, and I think it meant a lot.
Barry.
Following that up, in that inning, the 5th inning, he looked like he was taking an inordinate amount of time, slowing things down, and very deliberate. And Murphy brought Murphy out to the mound to discuss pitch sequencing, I'm guessing. And when they set up that strikeout on Ortiz with the 2 breaking pitches and then the fastball. Could you comment on that? And then, secondly,
That's a lot, Barry.
well,
Well, I mean, let's not get to the second one yet. I'll forget the first one. You know, obviously he got in a long inning. And I think when you get in a long inning, sometimes you want to gather yourself and make sure your thought process is right and not get frustrated. And they had a plan how to get Ortiz out, and they had faced him a couple times up until that point, and a lot of times you want to mix up your patterns, but you know how you want to get out. So there were a couple discussions, and it worked. Okay.
and then secondly, as hard as he worked there, you still went with him in the 6th inning. Could you talk about that?
Well, I mean, we still liked his stuff. You know, he walked a couple guys, I think, in that inning, which he hadn't done. His stuff seemed still pretty good. We were kind of going hitter by hitter in that 6th inning, and we still liked what he had, and I let him go through it.
George.
What was going on between him and Drake? Drake goes to the mound.
Well, I think CC thought that a pitch was a strike. Rob just kind of, you know, said something to him, and you know, players are in the heat of the battle, and they're probably a little bit more emotional a lot of times, and you know, that's basically it. It calmed itself down, and that was the good thing.
Tyler.
Joe, has it been difficult at all for you this year to kind of balance your faith in CC and who he is and what he's done with some of the performances you've seen? I mean, obviously you were rewarded for sticking with him tonight, but there's been a lot of shaky ones too. How's that for you?
Well, I never want to forget how difficult this game really is to play. You know, sometimes these guys can make it look really easy. And I've seen good things out of CC. I've seen good starts, and that's, you know, probably what I focus on a lot. You know, when he has a bad start, it happens to all pitchers. When you have a couple in a row, you know, people start asking questions, but I try to focus on the good things that he's doing. And you know, I've seen him make pitches during the course of the season and have really good starts, and I understand what he means to this club. So, no, it's, you know, I'm a positive guy by nature. That's who I am. And, you know, maybe because the game was so difficult for me, you know, I try to never forget that. We have never sat down and had a discussion, no.
Anybody else? Give it to Eric first because he's right there. Yeah.
Just what are your thoughts on the Toronto series starting tomorrow?
Well, obviously it's a big series. They're playing extremely well, and we know how explosive they are. They have a very powerful offense, and you just got to make pitches on them. You know, I think it's the 2 top run scoring teams in the American League that are going to face off. But they're playing well. We have played well, and it should be interesting.
We talked about Ellsbury slumping earlier today. How nice was it to see him have some success tonight?
Yeah. You know, I had said earlier today that I'd kind of really liked his at-bats Sunday and Tuesday. Knuckleballer, that's out. You can't ever predict what's going to happen there. And he had big at-bats tonight. He had had some success off him before, and a couple big hits today, and a really big one late in the game.
Anyone else? All the way in the back there.
Joe, just to backtrack to CC for a bit, what do you think he takes from this start into his next start?
Well, I'm sure he takes confidence, but I think CC always takes confidence when he goes out there. As I said, this is a guy that's pitched in a lot of big games, and you know, he'll get an extra day here, which is probably good for him in this situation. But he should take a lot of confidence.
And you said you know what he means to this team. In your words, what does he mean to the team, even maybe on days when
Well,
he's
he's
not
the
pitching?
leader of our staff, and he's the guy that's been through this many times, whether he was in Cleveland, whether he was in Milwaukee, taking the ball every other day, it seemed like, and what he meant here, and how we use the three-man rotation in the playoffs. I mean, this guy has been through it and understands it.